What if the treasure thou hast been searching for all thy life isn't buried in a bank, hidden in gold, or locked behind the walls of possessions, but flowing, invisible, and alive within thee? Imagine a wealth so profound that it cannot be taken, counted, or measured. A wealth that even the poorest of souls can claim. Jesus, the wandering sage of Galilee, whispered secrets about this hidden abundance, secrets that have been buried beneath centuries of misunderstanding. Today, we are going to unravel them, not as distant parables, but as practical keys to transforming your very experience of life. The nature of true abundance, according to Jesus. To understand Jesus' teachings on abundance, we must first step beyond the narrow corridors of material wealth. In his time, the world measured riches in silver coins, land, and livestock. Yet Jesus repeatedly turned this notion on its head, pointing instead to a wealth that exists beyond the tangible. An inner treasury accessible to anyone who awakens to it. Consider the parable of the hidden treasure in Matthew 13:44. A man discovers a treasure buried in a field and, overcome with joy, sells everything he owns to claim it. The treasure is not the field, nor the coins. It is the awakening itself, the sudden recognition of value that transforms his life. In other words, true abundance is not what you possess externally, but the inner clarity and connection that give life meaning. Authors like Richard Rohr and Matthew Fox have explored this in depth. Rohr describes abundance as a deep or grasping. Fox, drawing on Christian mystical traditions, calls it participation in divine plenitude, a sense that life itself is a gift flowing through us rather than something to hoard or own. Jesus' teachings repeatedly emphasize that the kingdom of God, the source of true abundance, is within you. Luke 17:21. It's a radical statement. It suggests that wealth is not found in accumulation, but in alignment with the invisible currents of life. The hidden river of divine generosity. Those who grasp this inner wealth live unshaken by loss, untouched by envy, and radiate a presence that draws others naturally toward life's fullness. From a practical perspective, this inner abundance can be cultivated through mindful awareness, gratitude, and generosity. It is nurtured by noticing the unseen blessings in each moment. The laughter of a child, the whisper of the wind, the fleeting connection with another soul. In these moments, the spirit recognizes its own limitless richness, independent of bank accounts or material accumulation. Abundance, in Jesus' eyes, is not a number. It is a state of consciousness, and it is available to anyone willing to seek it with openness and devotion. Jesus spoke in parables, stories layered with mystery, like ancient codes meant to awaken the soul. To the untrained ear, they were simple tales of seeds, treasures, and coins. Yet to those who listened deeply, they revealed a hidden dimension of abundance, one that cannot be bought, sold, or stolen. Take the parable of the sower, Matthew 13:3-8. Seeds fall on different soils, rocky ground, thorns, or fertile earth. Only in the fertile soil doth the seed grow and multiply. Here, the seed is divine abundance itself, life, love, spiritual insight, and the soil is our consciousness. Abundance flourishes not in pursuit or desperation, but in hearts prepared to receive it. The soil must be tended, cleared of fear, distraction, and attachment. Only then can the invisible treasures within us sprout, bloom, and multiply beyond imagination. The outer economy seems unfair, yet the parable reveals a deeper law. Spiritual abundance is not earned by effort alone. It flows from divine generosity. In life's invisible economy, the measure of wealth is not time spent or work performed, but openness to receive and share the gifts of life. From a practical standpoint, these parables invite us to cultivate a consciousness that mirrors fertile soil, gratitude, generosity, and detachment from scarcity. They suggest exercises like daily reflection on blessings, conscious giving without expectation, and mindfulness practices that attune us to the subtle flow of life. Through these stories, Jesus teaches that abundance is not an external pursuit. It is an inner awakening, a recognition of the inexhaustible riches that pulse through every moment. Spiritual practices to access abundance in daily life. Jesus did not leave abundance as a distant ideal or a poetic metaphor. He offered a living path, a series of spiritual practices that open the door to wealth beyond possessions. These practices are not rituals of accumulation. They are exercises in awakening, designed to align the soul with the invisible currents of divine life. 1. Radical gratitude. In Luke 17:11-19, Jesus heals 10 lepers, yet only one returns to give thanks. Gratitude is a spiritual lens that reveals abundance where it was hidden. Each morning, pause and name 3 unseen treasures in your life, not what you have, but what you are receiving. The warmth of sunlight, the breath in your lungs, the subtle guidance of intuition. This simple act rewires perception. Scarcity begins to dissolve, revealing the constant flow of life. 2. Generous giving without attachment. Give, and it will be given to you. Luke 6:38. Here, generosity is framed not as exchange, but as participation in a cosmic circulation of abundance. When you give, your time, your attention, your resources, without clinging, you mirror the divine rhythm. This is why spiritual teachers like Thomas Merton and Eckhart Tolle stress that generosity opens the heart to the endless riches of being. The act itself becomes a doorway to inner wealth, far exceeding material gain. 3. Mindful presence in each moment. Jesus often withdrew to solitary places, teaching that the kingdom of God is found in quiet awareness. Mark 35. Meditation, contemplative prayer, or simply mindful observation of life cultivates fertile soil within. In these still moments, the mind unclutters, and the soul begins to sense abundance as a living current. flowing in and through everything. 4. Alignment with purpose and service. Abundance thrives where life has meaning. Jesus calls us to serve others, to invest in the invisible economy of love and compassion. Spiritual authors like Brian Weiss and Deepak Chopra describe how aligning with higher purpose activates what can be called energetic prosperity, a state in which life itself responds with synchronicity, guidance, and opportunity. Practically, these practices can be woven into daily life, offering silent blessings before meals, journaling moments of gratitude, acts of spontaneous kindness, or 5 minutes of conscious breathing and presence each morning. Over time, these small yet deliberate actions create a reservoir of spiritual wealth that material circumstances cannot diminish. The secret is this: abundance is not something to get, it is something to become. It is a living state of consciousness that transforms every experience, from hardship to joy, into a treasure. The more we practice presence, gratitude, and generosity, the more we uncover the inexhaustible riches that Jesus described, hidden within ourselves and around us in every fleeting moment. Integrating Jesus' wisdom on abundance into modern life. In our fast-paced, achievement-driven world, the teachings of Jesus about abundance can feel almost subversive. We are conditioned to equate wealth with accumulation, success with possessions, and security with control. Yet Jesus whispers a different truth. The kingdom of abundance is not a place you reach, but a consciousness you embody. Imagine life as a vast river. Most people wade anxiously along the banks, trying to hoard water in small cups. Jesus invites us to step fully into the river, to feel its flow, and to recognize that it carries everything we truly need. This river is patience, love, generosity, gratitude, and presence. It is inexhaustible, boundless, and eternal. Practically, integrating these teachings begins with small, deliberate choices. Shift your measure of success. Instead of asking, "Do I have enough money?" ask, "Am I rich in presence, in love, in insight?" This simple shift transforms daily life as you begin to notice abundance where before you saw scarcity. Practice conscious giving. In modern life, this could mean mentoring someone, volunteering, or sharing skills and knowledge. Each act opens a portal to abundance, reflecting Jesus' teaching that giving multiplies what we hold. Cultivate inner stillness. Even 5 minutes of mindful breathing, silent prayer, or reflective journaling each day reconnects you to the inner treasury. Over time, you become attuned to life's subtle gifts, guidance, inspiration, and synchronicity that the mind often overlooks. Align actions with values. Abundance flows most fully when life is lived in alignment with purpose. Whether it is in career, relationships, or creative expression, ask, "Does this choice nurture my soul and the souls of others?" When the answer is yes, thou art participating in the spiritual economy Jesus described. Mystical authors such as Richard Rohr remind us that the universe is not stingy, it is abundantly generous. The only question is whether we are open enough to receive it. By cultivating awareness, generosity, gratitude, and purpose, we attune ourselves to this unseen flow. Ultimately, Jesus' teachings on abundance challenge the deepest assumptions of our culture. Wealth is not measured in possessions, but in the capacity to live fully, to love deeply, and to experience the sacred in every moment. When we embody this truth, life itself becomes a mirror of divine plenitude, revealing that we have always been infinitely wealthy, if only we dare to awaken to it. The secret treasure within. As we step back from the parables, teachings, and practices of Jesus, a luminous truth emerges. The treasure we seek has never been outside us. It is hidden, yes, but always present, like sunlight behind clouds, waiting for us to lift our gaze. True abundance is the awareness of life's inexhaustible richness, flowing through each heartbeat, each breath, each fleeting connection. Jesus taught that the kingdom of God is within. Luke 17:21. This is no abstract idea. It is an invitation to discover the inner vault of divine wealth. Love that heals, generosity that multiplies, joy that cannot be taken, and presence that transforms the ordinary into sacred. Every act of gratitude, every gesture of kindness, every moment of mindful attention is a key turning in the lock of this hidden treasure. Mystical thinkers such as Thomas Keating and Matthew Fox describe this inner treasure as participation in divine plenitude, an intimate, living relationship with the flow of the universe itself. The moment we recognize that abundance is not a matter of possession, but of consciousness, our lives begin to shift. Scarcity loses its grip, fear loosens its hold, and the world appears, not as a threat, but as an endless garden in which we are invited to walk freely, cultivating the wealth that cannot be measured by money, but is felt in the depths of the soul. So pause now, breathe deeply, and feel. What is already abundant in you? What hidden treasures are waiting to be recognized, embraced, and shared? The outer world may offer its illusions, but the inner kingdom is real, eternal, and infinitely generous. To live in this awareness is to live fully awake, rich beyond measure, and aligned with the timeless teachings of Jesus. In the end, abundance is not something we seek. It is something we remember. And in that remembering, the secret treasure within finally reveals itself, shimmering in every moment, waiting for us to claim it.